Hi, I'm Daniel and this is Ashville Weekly, episode 123. Immediately we have a problem. The digger is still not fixed. We are waiting for a part. The spring, what goes on the sort of like wheel at the back with the teeth, what connects onto this, so we can't dig the trench that we need to get on with. This is the trench for the air conditioning. Now we have to get this very low. If you have a look here at the bottom slab, what we did for the retaining wall, we actually have to be underneath this because we have to come underneath the paving for the house so we can come into the house. So we're gonna have a protective pipe running here up the back wall all the way to the air conditioning units. Over here, the retaining wall is completely finished. So this is what's stopping all the earth on the other side, keeping it at bay. And these pipes are for rainwater. Eventually, this is going to be covered with soil. And we're going to have a brick wall which matches the house in this area. And this is going to be outdoor entertaining. So we're about to make our way inside, but the brickies are outside and we're beginning to close off this wall. So we finished it internally completely with the block work, but now we're outside and we're using reclaimed bricks to make sure it matches the existing. If we use that brick and that brick, from what I can see, if we jet wash the whole thing and blast it down, it will be there or thereabouts. Give it a full 4 seasons in a year, it will look the same once it's weathered. What do you think? You agree with me, yeah?
Yep.
You know, you can say if you don't.
I just see pallets with those and those bricks. And
So you're saying that none of the brick suppliers actually showed you just saw the pallet sitting there?
And I just put 2 bricks.
For me, this is all right. What do you think?
Yeah, it's the closest match.
It's the closest match, man. I think it's the closest match. They will look a tiny bit different, maybe 10-15% different, but go for a couple of seasons and it will look the same. It's just important at this stage to make sure that we are as close as we can possibly be.
Done.
Done, yeah?
Now I can get them.
The brickwork around the steel, which is going to just pass, and then the bifolds are going to sit just inside. When the bifolds sit here, then the plasterboard will butt up against it very nicely. Before I go upstairs, this is the insulation that is being used on the roof. We have 90 mil between the rafters. The rafter is about 120 mil, and then underneath that, we have another 70 mil. On the first floor, we are now building up all the walls from block work. All the steels are in. The larger ones are fitted together in a box shape. Now, in between these steels, we are going to run joists. Those joists are going to be the floor level for the loft. And also on these larger steels, we're going to build walls which are going to support the structure of the roof. We're just painting in, I can't pronounce it properly, intumescent. Basically, we're painting the steels so they're going to be fireproof. We have another small storage cupboard here. This is going to have the heating manifolds. Now we see the layout of the rooms. We may actually make some changes. So we have a client meeting next week, but now I've seen the rooms. I've got a couple of ideas, but I'm going to see when they look at the size of it, what they think, because I think in some of the rooms I need to get it symmetrical where the bed is going to be to have a clear sight to be able to look out onto the rear garden area. But we'll see what the client says when they get it. A couple of weeks back, I showed you the area here where we have to put the steels in place, and the engineer and fabricator, they keep going back and forth. We don't have the steels, but as soon as we do have that, now we have this wall in place, we have all our positioning. The roof height that you can see here, this is going to continue through the rest of the bedroom, but the steels which are right above me are going to be gone, and then we're going to have a new structure which goes in place, which makes sure this entire area is opened out, and then we're going to have 2 Velux windows here which are going to let much more natural light into the space. The structure in this area is complete, and you can see some of the insulation in place that I showed you from downstairs. If I hop out of this window, this is the first part of the roof that we are putting back together. So we remove the existing tiles, we put them on the scaffold, and we put new breathable underlay, we put treated 2x1 battens, and now the existing tiles are going back on, and this roof will be 100% watertight. We have the lintels in for the doorways, but there's work going on there, and I can't ask the boys to move so I can film in it. Obviously, work comes first. So you'll have to wait till next time I'm here for me to show you what's going on in these rooms. Now I have a meeting with a staircase fabricator, but of course, while I'm talking and messing around and trying to agree, the work will continue as always. What will you actually make out of steel for us?
Structural, which is stringers, folded plates for stage and posts for you to be able to curve the balustrade.
Okay. On the way back to the yard, and right on schedule this morning at 7 a.m. a train arrived. Michael, my brother, you
look
older than me. What's happening?
What's happening? Not a great deal. It's steady as she goes. The boat's going good. Lovely weather.
Lovely weather. It's 8 degrees, mate.
Lovely. Dry, isn't it? Dry.
Well, it's dry, yeah, it's dry. It's bone dry, yeah.
I've got to say that where you went on holiday is very nice. I like the shot with you and the goldfish. You made out they were sharks. I've got bigger fish in the bowl inside the house. And you making out you're stroking them and you're about 4 miles away from them. I can't believe they got a canoe that can fit you in. I noticed they had to take the top off it.
That's where I got confused. There's a difference between a canoe and a kayak. Canoe is where you sit in it, I think.
Right, we need to look that up then, don't we? We'll get our facts right.
If you making fun of me in a kayak, you should get a red kayak, I'll get a black and yellow one, and we can race.
I need to go into practice for a couple of months, wouldn't I? Plus, you have 20 years on me, so you'd have to give me at least a 4 mile head start. But I think you've done well to benefit into that. I noticed you never done the shot of you climbing back into it, though.
No, I did. I got back into it when I struggled, like you after 3 drinks.
What's happening in the Ashville group this morning? I like that bathroom project. That's there. Some bathrooms, isn't they?
Yeah, they're nice, mate. No, they're nice, really nice.
They are proper. They're high end anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, mate. If you want me to give if you want me to give you any interior decorating tips, you just let me know. Because the times you invite me to your house, you don't actually let me in the house. You just walk me around the compound and look at the ponies, and then you tell me to leave. So next time you invite me to the house, you might actually invite me in the front door.
I'll bring you in the next thing you see my little 500-year cottage.
You wanted a cottage that was the same age as your lorries. Well, that makes sense actually.
We're full of wettiness this morning after our weekend. Where is it again? Channel Islands or wherever?
No, it was my holiday was in Cork Island. As you've never been there, you would know what it looked like.
That'll do. Right, well, we'll speak on Saturday then, yeah?
All right, mate.
Looking forward to it.
Nearly back at the yard. Terry the Shagger has turned up.
Gathering dust.
I'm not just collecting them so they can sit in the yard and collect dust, like I have done a number of other things. I was ribsing when I saw it. I just had to drive into the centre of the yard to look at my lovely blocks. We can't carry on with the work at the moment because the train is here, but as soon as the train is gone, the lads will be over here, and maybe we won't do more of it today, but by the end of the week, we would have finished this area. So this is one of the bays where we were storing pads. Now I wanted to use this as a washout bay, which basically means the concrete lorries reverse in here and they can wash out and it will dry out here, and once it's dried out we'll scoop it. I'm having a look at some other people's washout bays and they've actually dug down so the level is deeper and they kind of wash out into a pit. But for me that is just a massive safety issue, having a big hole in the ground here that's water, people could step in it. I'm being told you can't expect drivers to fully clean out if the wash bay isn't actually lower. Who's got any suggestions of how to do a proper washout bay in this area without me making a deep excavation or hole? How we doing, mate? You alright? You having a tyre changed?
No, I've got about 5 minutes.
Oh, you're on taco? Yeah. Oh, okay. Taking a quick look in the tyre area, beginning to bring them back in and sit them on the new concrete base. Got them all split into different categories. A lot of them are built up onto rims already. We haven't got a lot of alloy rims. Those are the alley ones over there. Here we have ones which are returned as major repair, and some work has gone like this. We've managed to just recut this one. There wasn't anything wrong with this. It's got no bulges in the sidewalls, had no punctures, just wore down. Our in-house tyre fitting is definitely a lot more efficient, and I have heard stories of minimal blowouts on the road as well, because our tyre fitters making suggestions on who we get our tyres from, and yeah, I'm pleased with how that's going at the moment. Another system I'm doing research on is a sales system. I need a system in place so we can track clients, new clients, the deal pipeline, quotations we've given out, how we've chased clients, when jobs may start, the rates we've given, profiles of clients, because we have one salesman working with aggregates and muck at the moment, and we have another one starting selling concrete, and we need to put something in place so they can report to me and Terry can see the reports as well, and then we can measure their growth. So we can say, in this month you did this, in that month you did that, over the year it was this, where did we make money, what kind of client profile do we need to continue to go after. I don't want to look for something that's too complicated, because there's some organizations who all they do is sell all day and they've got 60-70 people using this. We don't need that. So we need to look for something a bit more simple and speak to the salesmen themselves and see what systems they've used in the past. Once we actually get them in place and they are working, they're actually very useful tools, and they mean that you don't have to do it again. So we need to keep going, even though it is very tiring and repetitive and sometimes annoying. It's Tuesday morning, it's 6:30. And I've pulled up at the entrance to the yard, and it was a battle to get here through the foggy skies of London. At 8 o'clock, I've got some documents to sign, back-to-back meetings, and then in a little while I have to be at QPR at, I think, 1 p.m. Hopefully the fog has disappeared by that point, because it was definitely challenging trying to get here. I have a meeting with our CFO to go over our P&L and cash flow forecast at 10, and I can see that we have, well, I can barely see that we have a fuel delivery because of the fog, and I'm glad the fuel delivery has turned up because we really needed the fuel, but now we can get on with the work in the central area of the yard, putting down the rest of the slabs. Just arrived at QPR, a meeting to talk about maintenance and work needed in the stadium in the season break, which is going to be in a couple of months. What's happening? Always a lovely view. 1 minute to 1, meeting's about to start. Signing out. I showed you before we had the second bracket delivered. So we had a video where we had the new arm fitted, which has a quick hitch. But because of that, the bracket you can see at the top here, we had to fit new brackets on, but we only had one bracket. So when we had an emergency a couple of weeks back, we had to swap the buckets and not the bracket. And that was a lot of heartache, and we had the training, so caused us delays. However, we have the second bracket now, and there is one bracket on each of the buckets, which means when it's time to switch over, it's a couple of minutes because it's a quick hitch, pop in, pop out. But we have a little problem. When we took this one off, this bush has been damaged. So basically this sits up there and it slots in. And then this slots in on each side, and you can see like the ridge. However, it wasn't fully sunk in, and when we were dropping the arm down on the machine, it kept hitting it and it caused this damage, so it's gone out of shape. So now I'm taking a few pictures with dimensions on it. I'm now going to call BPH, and I'm going to order 2 of these. So we're going to put one on, and then we're going to keep one in stock as well. Going to have to stop digging for the pads because we need to measure up, because the cutting edge on the ditching bucket is a bit low on one side. Count 14 bolts, and then call the company that normally supply us and get them to send us another one out. It should take a few days. This will probably survive till then, but we need to make sure we order it now so we change it and then we don't start it to wear into the actual bucket itself. We haven't been able to do as much as we wanted today in the yard with the concrete blocks, but we're digging and we're bringing the levels down here. But what I can see is the concrete that we poured a long time ago. We did this one weekend, that was on Weekly. That's nice and strong. The concrete that we put over here, we did that over a bank holiday weekend, I believe. That was also in Weekly, and everyone wrote in the comments, that's going to crack. Doesn't look like it's cracked to me. Still nice and strong. So now what we got to do is put the blocks in the area here we're going to fill those with concrete, and we're going to get as close as we can to the slab, which is over here for the fuel bay, and then we're going to pour a ramp of concrete. So this whole area and all the dipping you can see and all the problems we've had in the past, they should be solved. But the boys are running around trying to fix other problems in the yard, trying to load lorries, trying to offload trains, so we're a bit slower this week. Ah, look at me directing.
Or up to here,
Yeah.
up to this line here. From here on Saturday, we can dig out here, pour the ramp.
Are you not going to put another 2 things there?
Another 2 blocks.
Yeah.
That's why I said to you a while ago about pouring the ramp of concrete. You said,
I thought you were going to do the blocks and then pour a little ramp.
oh, well, I wanted to make it as easy as possible for the lorry.
I'd say run out another 2, because then the gap is smaller. With the smaller gap, we could put some steel in it.
Not so much.
There's not so much.
Yeah.
Bruv, we'll make it stretch in it. Don't worry about there's not so much. Hey, Ben, tell us what happened. Go on, tell us what happened.
The air horn wouldn't turn off, it just carried on blasting its horns, that's it.
So
Everyone came out of Cemex complaining I was in a rush.
So Ben's gone to load material in the quarry and the air horn's gone faulty and stayed on. So what did everybody do when it was just going off?
They're looking out the windows, everything. I'm doing it on purpose. I see the keys in my hand.
I know. Oh, even when you took the keys out, it kept going.
I'm going, yeah.
Sorry, Ben.
Must be something
So how'd you turn it off?
done the air. Just left the air out of the tanks.
You pumped the air out of the
That's
tank.
it, yeah.
All right.
Think of, yeah.
All right. Well, at least it's working. Now, fuming. Imagine you go in the quarry to load, and the air and the horn comes on, and you can't turn the horn off. So it's just blowing, and people in the quarry are getting mental. Like, what are you doing? And you can't even stop it. Oh, all the boys are getting back. Yes, Maddie. Ooh, it's busy in here. It's Tuesday morning. It's 7:30. Taking a walk around the yard, and we have a cement delivery. Matt was meant to be flying in from Zurich because of the meetings we got today, but the flight was cancelled, so he won't be joining me today. He'll have to tap in by Zoom for the interviews we're doing and the other teams meetings discussing how we're going to move forward. Seeing the cement delivery has reminded me of something we were trying to work out. I told you we're having meetings with the CFO about the P&L, and we were having a look, because when you put down sales, you need to put down the cost of sales. You put the cost you bought it for minus the cost you sell it for, and then in another part of the P&L, you put the driver's wages, you put the finance on the trucks, you put all the other expenses somewhere else. So we're trying to get the cost of sales accurate. But we were putting material that we import into the yard, and I was looking at the cost of sale, and I thought these costs are too low because we don't make that much money on aggregate, so there's something wrong here. And when we had a real think about it, we worked out that when we bring material in the yard, we're not differentiating between material that went in the concrete lorry and material which went out and was sold as bags or sold loose. Because when we sell it in bags, we obviously sell it for more, it's an increased margin, but then we have to count the cost of the bags and a little bit for making it. But the guys who are making it work in the yard anyway, their efforts are just being put in over there. So is that really an additional cost? To get it accurate and to work out how much stock we've got, we could do it one of two ways. All the stuff that goes onto the concrete lorries, we can run it over the weighbridge and then we have an accurate figure. Or I have a document which has a calculation of exactly how much sandstone ballast is needed for each mix. And if we import that mix and then we go into our new digital system and we print off, this is how much we did in a month of C20, C25, C30, and based on the calculation of how much material and cement is needed in all of those, we can then work out how much material we used from that calculation. And then from the material that's left, we then can see the volumes what we sold loose, we can see the volumes that we sold in bags, and then we will have an accurate number for the stock that's left. I took a few measurements in the main office because with the work we did on Saturday when we made some more space and we put the additional desk in, I've realised that when the drivers come in, they've got nowhere to put their paperwork and they're putting it on the first desk in front of them. Now, the person who's going to sit there is a salesman So the drivers aren't going to come and drop their paperwork on him. So I'm trying to find something that I can attach to the wall that drivers can come in and I can give them instructions and they could just slot their paperwork in there. And behind the other desk, I took the dimensions so I can get a cabinet. So whoever's going to sit at the desk on the other side, they can reach behind and they can keep all their files and their paperwork, and they can also charge stuff on the top of it as well. We aim to get the electrical work done today, this week in the office, but we're probably not going to be able to because the guys are at the luxury bathroom project trying to get that finished, and Terry has turned up. It's Thursday and I'm in the yard. We sold our Arctics not long ago at auction, and I say I really wanted them to go to a good home. It looks like they have. Our other Arctic, not the one that Michael O'Donnell has round the corner, but one of our Arctics has been spotted in Comeath in Ireland. Looks like they've completely stealthed it out. They've taken all the Ashville bits off it. Hopefully it's as good to them as it was to us. Now, in the tyre area, at long last, we're beginning to put up our signs. So I need to make sure I give people enough information. Because otherwise people will say they didn't know. So we had a meeting, kind of like a toolbox talk, and we said to everyone, these are the rules of the tyre area, but I'm just reinforcing that. They can't say they didn't see it because it's up on the walls. But in order to get it to a point where people can see it, we need to put a couple of additional blocks in to build up the wall a bit more, because obviously I went OTT on the signs. Yesterday, we just dropped these slabs going into the fuel bay. It was towards the end of the day. Well, they weren't done properly. We just didn't want to create this massive void to damage the trucks and cause an accident. So what we did, we have picked them up this morning and we are building up the area underneath them, and these have got a slight step up. We're going to dig this area out as well. We're going to pour concrete and fill all the gaps. We're going to attempt to fill all of this in today and hopefully pour that concrete at the end of the day. If we don't pour it at the end of today, then we will do it tomorrow. But it's too cold in the mornings, so we need to pour it towards the end of the day. And plus, if we pour it at the end of the day, then we've got till the morning for it to dry. Gone on your own now?
Yeah.
Okay.
MW office furniture.
You with your dad, or you just gone out?
Yeah,
all
just
on your
me and my
own?
old man,
Just
yeah.
you and your old man, yeah? You're doing them yourself. You know, I'm always bragging about the chairs. Like, these are the best office chairs there are. They are the best. And as I created some new space in the office upstairs, I obviously needed a new chair. So Michael's gone out on his own now. Congrats, mate.
Thank you.
Well done. And while he's here, I had a look at all the chairs upstairs, see if he could do any servicing, but all the chairs are in good nick, so my staff haven't been mashing them up, so I'm happy enough with that. Happy enough with my chair, and this is a medium, yeah? Now my one, what I sit in, is a large. What's that, a
Size
C?
C.
But this is a B, which is a medium.
Yeah, and then
I
you get the size A as well for the smaller people.
for the smaller people, yeah. But we just go B across the board. So nice, I'm happy with my chair. It's Friday morning. It's 4:51. Daniel is rolling on the road again. Heading into the yard. for my BBC radio appearance, and I feel all right. I didn't get to sleep till about 11:30, and I was up at 4:10. But hey ho, this is the life we chose. I was talking to someone yesterday and they said,
how are you going to wake up at 4 a.m. and get in the yard at like 5 or just before 5? They're like, how are you going to do that? I could never get out of bed.
and I was like, easy. I'm going to get up and get out of bed. And they went,
No, I couldn't do that.
I said, the last time you went on holiday, you had a flight at City Airport at stupid o'clock in the morning, and you managed to get up and make it. And they were like,
Oh, that's different. I'm going on holiday. I never miss a flight if I'm going on holiday. I get up at any time if I'm going on holiday.
so my answer to you is that you too can get up at this time and start getting in early and possibly be on the road again at 4 a.m. Let's do this. Let's get it in. Poured that concrete yesterday in the central part of the yard. What I'm worried about is the temperature. I don't know what time the temperature dropped, but -2 is too cold. When we poured it yesterday, it was about like 5 or 6 degrees, and we've left it overnight. But look, everyone filled up yesterday, driving over the road plates that you can see over here, so no one's going to drive over this morning. I think we're just going to keep this area blocked off so that concrete has a decent chance of drying.
Hello, welcome to Wake Up to Money. It's a big day for the UK economy. Later this morning we get those all-important final quarter GDP figures, and we find out if the UK managed to swerve a recession. I'm also joined through the show by Daniel Ashville LOUISY, who's the Chief Executive of the Ashville Group of Companies, specialises in construction in and around London. Daniel, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Will you be watching the GDP figures from behind the sofa, or does that sort of question of technical recession or not technically a recession actually make any difference to you?
It doesn't really make a difference to us here. We still try to push on, and the way we look at it is that everybody will be in the same boat. Whether there is or isn't recession, we get on with it and we try to adapt accordingly. Time to start a day's work. Me and Flo are checking the concrete. The time now is 7 a.m. It's still wet. We're gonna have to leave it. We wanted to finish this area over here, but it's still about -2. Thankfully, the water tower has a heating element in it, so all the water that's coming from there will be nice and warm. And let's hope all the drivers emptied all their water tanks last night, so there aren't any freezes. We hope.
We've done this reinforcing wall over here, yes?
Which wall have we done?
There's
We can't even see it though on the plans, the reinforcing
Yes.
wall, because the reinforcing wall is by the trees here, no?
Yes.
Is this there yet? It's not, is it?
No, we've got this stuff.
Ask him to pour these steps from concrete. If he pours them from concrete, and we just put the slabs down on top of it,
Yeah.
longevity,
stable,
it's more stable for us. What do you think?
Yeah, 100% agree. Are we gonna put any lights in?
Yeah, well, yeah, 100%. They never asked for it, but for me, with a high-end property like this, it's just that. If I didn't put it in, I'd be cheating them. I want them to be able to look outside at night and it all lights up. Those steps, they really show you what it's going to be like. Yeah, those steps are great. I think they're going to have to be lit, like from the top, shining down.
Only worry about is the windows. All of them are below 800. Everything which is below 800 needs to be toughened glass. So we might need to upgrade the glass over there.
Do it.
on
Do
the
it.
ground.
Do it. Look at this. What NKC Polishing sent me. I've gone and got my fingers all over it now. And I got these fittings here. And I can fit this on the wall. It means it steps away from the wall and I can put a light behind it or something. I think I'm going to put it there. I think that's a good place for it. I'm going to put it right there. In line with the YouTube plaque and the Ashville Holdings training wear. I spent the last few hours working on something what I probably should have done a long time ago. So within the business, there's loads of documents we use. Everybody's always trying to find a document for this, document for calibration, health and safety, insurance. And I send people documents to say, keep this on your desktop. It might come in handy, the price list, the this, the that. But that's not the right way of working with the amount of documentation we have and the amount of people working here. I'm making a load of folders, and those folders and documents are going to be accessible, and people are going to have permissions to be able to do to edit those. Then into all these folders: executive management, finance, fleet and transport, the yard, operations, insurance, price list, licensing, permitting and compliance, maintenance and certification, health and safety, which is the most important, by the way, sales, waste, HR, aggregates, concrete, construction, entertainment, holdings, and websites. And each of those folders are going to break down into subfolders, so all the information will be there. And then the job role I told you about, where we're trying to employ somebody young to come into the business, that role has actually changed. That's going to be an apprentice role, apprentice office manager, who's going to have a hand in everything that's going on here. To get to know the business, they're going to be in charge with keeping those folders up to date. So when the new insurance comes in, they take out the old policy, they put the new one in. And if anybody else in the company wants to access it, the sales team, the operations team, the transportation team, the finance team, the executive team, they can go into those folders and get the information without driving themselves mad looking through old emails or driving other people mad. That's the plan, anyway. Aye. The boys are getting back in, and for the first time, the road sweeper is driving through the middle of the yard on the new concrete. What's going on? How clean are we going to get this? And then we can continue with the work over there. In fact, let's go and check on the concrete. How's that concrete looking? Is it drying?
Yeah.
Is it dry, yeah?
It was a little bit soft.
Really?
That's rock on.
Yeah? Well, nice, we're dry. So we'll probably be good for tomorrow to finish the rest of the concrete. No, stand on that for me. So, well? Little bit. Tomorrow morning it should be fine. When that dries, that will be spot on. Nice. Time now is 5 to 7. I just did a 13-hour stretch in the hot seat at Ashville, other than a couple of times when I went downstairs to see what was going on. Good day, man. Happy with the day. Ups and downs as usual. Decisions need to be made in a split second. Not sure I made the right ones, but I know that I made decisions. I'm exhausted, but I'm still gonna go to the gym because I will feel worse if I don't go to the gym. So let me just go to the gym and do the best I can with what energy I have, because I'm so tired, because the feeling of not going is a lot worse. Saturday morning, pulling into the yard, and the cement lorry is leaving, so that must mean that we had a cement delivery. I'm heading straight round to the area where we should be finishing off the blocks and pouring concrete today, and then I need to head into the backyard and take a picture of the plate on the bracket for the LH60 bucket, because apparently I didn't give enough information for them to order the parts I needed earlier in the week.
There's no rope.
I can't see it
I'm
either.
trying to see up underneath, but you can't. There's no plate in there.
I can't see it. We cannot see a plate, and the manufacturer's saying that there's a plate on here that they have to use to identify the bracket.
Oh,
what?
I'm covered in grease and everything. Oh. What is a director? I don't know, here getting covered in grease.
You're directing grease operations today, boy. At least they're greasing it. Where's this plate, Terry, man? We can't order the thing without the plate.
No, there is no plate. There is no plate on that hanging bracket.
We've got to go and check the one which is on the LH60. You know why? Because we've got 2 buckets and 2 brackets. And now a quick hitch. Nice. I can't see no plate, Tel. Would it be underneath? No serial numbers burnt into it?
No, that's why I got the torch on the other one to see if there was, because I thought it might have been under there, because at least it would be a little bit protected.
See what I'm saying? You can't even find the plate. We keep digging down to clear the area, and the material we're pulling out is actually quite a good sub base. Now time to pour the concrete. We are using a C40 mix. This is a mix that would generally be used in retaining walls in basements. Now we are using rebar, what we've brought back from jobs. These are leftovers, we don't waste anything at Ashville. And we have put the stones and bricks in place so we can lift the rebar off the ground. So when we pour the concrete, the reinforcement is actually sat roughly in the middle, giving it that bit more strength. Big police presence today at QPR. You'd never guess we were playing Millwall.
Here we are again. Here we are again, free day out in QPR, down to Daniel. And I brought all the boys with me as well. So thank you very much, Daniel, for the free night out.
And you know
it's going to cost me something somewhere along the line.
It definitely would. You know where we are. We're 1-0 down.
Yes, and it's not good. Not good.
Michael, the Hollywood star, has decided to grace the camera with his presence.
1-0 down. No good, boys.
He's trying to hold it together right about now. Show when he went. Hey!
Yeah, we're finished. It looks like we're going to get relegated.
Relegated. We're definitely going to get relegated. You could tell we're 3 Stella in, boy. We're going to get relegated.
Only 3 Stellas in, and we're ready for action.
Look at that for a CV. That is one. So that is a great CV. Not many people can do what I do. You going work in Ashville then or not?
I'm going to work for you if you.
If I what?
Pay me $350 a week.
And what are you going to do for that $350?
Not a lot. I can do 4 days a week. After 4 days a week, we need to have a holiday. We need to get a holiday.
Can't you just be off on Saturday and Sunday?
No, we need. We'll do 4. We'll do Monday to Thursday.
Yeah.
Friday, me and you'll go.
I can't really do that, man. I've got things to do.
You haven't got that much to do.
All right, sweet.
Because all you do is Monday I'm in the yard, Tuesday I'm in the yard, Wednesday I'm in the yard, Thursday I'm in the yard, but Friday we'll be on the.
So what about Saturday and Sunday?
Or we'll be at home going. My head. Do we get a company credit card if we work on the firm?
You want me to pay you in cash, but you want a company credit card, and you want to take me out, but you want me to pay.
Yeah, and a company car, and I do not want a hairdresser's car. I'm not sitting in that little thing, me and you like that inside of it.
So what car do you want?
Bentley.
A Bentley?
Bentayga, do.
What are you doing for but how will you earn money back for the firm?
Well, I won't, because I let that down to these 2 here. I'm only entertainment's manager. I'll only be taking all our clients out. Look, all our clients are here. Most of them are going to be doing work for O'Donovan's on Monday anyway, but they'll be all ringing me because I've given them a card each.
You don't have business cards?
I do have business cards.
Can I have a business card then? Oh my God, you've got a business card!
Do you like that?
I mean, it's very basic. But
if anybody's looking for plant hire, there we are. We are Cayley Plant. We are a very good plant hire company. We're very cheap. Our machines are all very much up to date.
Can we make you some Ashville business cards?
They've got to have entertainment's manager.
And when are you starting Ashville?
We could start maybe in a month or 2's time.
Where do you want your office to be?
So I can't have West. I can't be doing West.
But you're from West London?
No, you don't listen. You don't listen to a lot, do you?
All right, go on.
The story originated in West London.
Okay.
Then we had to move north, and north was more friendly.
You're saying that Tottenham is more friendly than Shepherd's Bush?
Thank you.
Mate,
if you had a map of the 2 parts of London,
all right.
If you had a choice of buying a house in West London or Tottenham,
I'd buy it in West London.
No, you buy it in Tottenham.
Are you all right, mate?
No. The geography's been completely driven mad.
Mate, you could never be an estate agent.
Why not? I'd make a very, as it happens, anybody looking for a estate agent out there, I'm your man. By the way, thank you, Daniel, for the day out.
Thank you for coming, Michael.
My two boys there enjoyed it very much so. My mate Moneybags over there, look. How much we give him for that lorry, Ryan? Too much, didn't we? Oh.
Michael made a deal earlier and bought a lorry off Moneybags over there, one of our friends from East London.
What did you buy?
A T-cab Scania, not as if we've got enough.
You go off Jacqueline for a load.
Michael!
So you bought a lorry?
Yeah.
A bullnose earlier?
Yeah.
What for?
I don't know. Moneybags, you want to be on the video or what?
We'll make you look good in the edit.
Don't keep putting that bit on me going, oh, it's just very embarrassing. All my friends of mine keep texting me every time you put it on. Anyway, going back to John's job interviews.
Yeah.
You never turned up.
Terry never turned up for a job interview.
No.
Why, what happened? Sunday morning, and I'm in the car. Before anybody points out that I'm not using an Ashville tea or coffee or water mug, it's because every time I've got one, somebody takes it off me, i.e. my mum or one of my staff. So I'm using this plain black one. I'm heading to a meeting with my creative for 8 a.m. Yesterday was a good day. It was good to be with Michael O'Donovan, Owen O'Donovan, Ryan O'Donovan, James Gannon, and people who head up a couple of other rather large firms, because it's good to, well, catch up with them on a personal level and talk. Like, you can't help it. You all work so much. You bring up things about work and you tell people the challenges you're having, like in an open forum, and you hear their suggestions. Michael's been at it 40 years. James has been at it 30 years, both their dads before them, and the O'Donovans are like third generation. And it's not like they don't also have problems in this game. So James tells me the problems of they're running 150 odd lorries altogether. And the problems they have are the same problems we have, except there are a couple more zeros on the end of them, and they still have challenges. And it's good to know how they overcome those challenges and their growth over the years, as ultimately a lot of the things they're doing are the things that we want to do, like running concrete batching plants and wash plants side by side. And they can tell you the big mistakes that they've made, how they overcame the main challenges, and it's something to write down in the scrapbook. And while I was telling them about some of my problems, they were like,
no, this is who you need to speak to.
You got a problem with a bank?
No. You need to speak to this bank manager. This is the bank manager who knows our industry. This is who so-and-so deal with.
And I think to myself, why didn't so-and-so tell me about this person before and introduce me to them? Anyway, we'll forget about that for now. I'm going to try and head to the gym and do some cardio, and then I'm going to prepare for tomorrow. Hopefully by about 6 or 7 p.m. I've managed to do all my emails, and there's a lot flying around in here. Like loads flying around in here. So I need to try and get it all on paper, and then get it into, not paper, onto my notes, and then get it into some sort of order so I can try to process it over the next few days, because Monday is already not a write-off, but I'm going to get into the yard as early as I can. We have a training, I have a 9:30 meeting, and then from 12 p.m. to like 5 p.m. I have a voiceover session for the TV show. So the edit is going fantastically, I hear, and now I have to do all my voiceover bits. So that's gonna eat up a large proportion of my Monday afternoon. And that's it for Ashville Weekly episode 123. Click here for the Ashville website. Click here to subscribe to our channel. Click down there for a national video you may not have seen before. And click here for last week's episode, which was number 122.